Hey everybody, it's me, Jonathan Millard, the voice of the Vale, and welcome to another Big Hype podcast brought to you in association and sponsored by Hype Energy Drinks. Check out the just link below. Go and have a look. Right now, my very, very special guest is joining me straight after his fight last weekend is James Ozzie Osborne. James, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm real good. Thanks, mate.
Good man. Thanks, how you feeling now? How you feeling?
Yeah, still buzzing from the weekend, mate. Feeling really good.
We'll come up to speed in a minute. But as I do with all people on this podcast, it's the opening question. How and why did you get involved in boxing?
I started when I was about 24. I'd done a couple of amateur fights at Wickford and Billericay.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was too old to be doing it then, so I stopped.
How old were you then?
I was 24, but just the other people in my gym, there was really, really young kids. The shows that we went to, I was always the oldest one. I just felt like in myself I was too old. I didn't really know about boxing, to be honest. Yeah, so then I stopped after that. And then, one of my friends, Luke Chambers, messaged me, and he was doing his own charity shows. And he asked me if I'd come and fight on his. So I'd done that at Newlands Gym, and I've been there ever since.
So how many amateur fights did you have then?
Two amateur fights.
Just two. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people on the podcast. I mean, they've come in that traditional route. They've started in the amateurs, turned over pros. I'm going to guess there's a little bit in your history that's not quite that route, is there? From what you're saying about Newman's. And I know they've been your supporters for a long, long time in the gym. Yeah, like you say, you've been there for 7, 8, 9. I've lost count now. I can't even add it up in my head. A long time, let's just say that. But there's
about 8 years. Yeah,
8 years. There you go. So so you've been there a long, long time. They've got your back. You've got theirs. And obviously, you said there was a little charity show that sort of sparked a little bit more into you. Was it then you realised that actually there is something here that I want to get involved with and be involved with? Because, like you say, the amateurs are a different game and completely. And a lot of people who appeared on the podcast have said exactly the same thing. Amateurs, for everyone, is not where it needs to start for them.
Yeah, one of my other friends, he fought on the EBA shows.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Eaton used to do years ago, and when I see the video of it, I thought, oh my god, it looked like a professional show. All the cameras, the lights around the ring, and I just thought, I want some of that. So then we started fighting on there as well.
And I said we've got a bit of shared history. I MC for Queensbury. I'm not Quest as it is now. It used to be Queensbury. Boxing promotions with Minton and Alan Foley. So I now still do Quest, and I didn't realise that a couple of years ago you were fighting for what was it, the Super National Super Middleweight Championship on a Queensbury show. So again, I think the production value of Quest is exceptionally high, compared to some of the small hall shows that are out there as well. So and that's not an honest lie on any promotion. It's just that they have, as you said, the lights, the cameras, and everything, and you wanted a bit of that, and I get it, I do. So what was it like boxing and Quest in those days, or in Queensbury in those days?
Unbelievable. All the media stuff they done, like the press conference we had to do, just really looked after you on there, and they done it better than some pro shows. Real. We fought, I think the person I was meant to fight first on there was at a race course. He dropped out, so they got me a journeyman in.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they put me through for the national title against Arthur James.
Yeah. And that was that was back in 2019.
Yeah, that was so after that fight. That was when we decided to turn pro. And then obviously we had COVID as well around that time as well. Straight after that,
we went into lockdown, didn't we?
So it's like 2 years.
2020. We had 2020, and then we were in lockdown for a little bit as well. So so following in some of the footsteps of some others that I know have come through Quest and have turned pro. Mace Rueg is one that always springs to my mind because I've called him enough times. But there's others as well that have done that route as well.
Anthony Yard was on there as well.
Yeah. So again, we've had a plethora of fighters that have come through that thing, and then the pro turnover. What was that? What was the decision to do the pro?
That Arthur James, he was their top boy, and he was going to turn pro after that fight as well.
Right.
And I knocked him out in the fifth round. It was a real bad knockout as well. And so then after that, we decided we were just going to go for it.
And that was a decision with your cornerman and your team there at Newlands, yeah?
Yeah. Me and Riley, my coach Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided to go from there and see where the journey takes us.
And the very first time you went out was as a pro. I'm a bit confused because I thought it was something else, but it wasn't. I thought it was at Brentwood.
No, it was at the Civic
on a TM show, not on Top Tier, but on TM show.
No, it was on MTK at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, at Civic Hall.
Oh, Grace.
Yeah, Grace Civic Hall, yeah. And that's where we'd done the EBA shows as well, years before that. Yeah, so we was back there as a pro. I had two fights there. And then, we went on to Johnny Clark's show after that.
And that was the time that I have announced you. Yeah, I know I've announced you somewhat once because that was the statement. That was his first show. I was MC on that show, so it was a great show. I've got to say, stat card. I think there was about 14 fights. I think quite some ridiculous, numbers, which were great. But again, you were on there with the likes of some of the other ones that are coming through his stable now as well, or coming through his shows because his shows are top quality, top tier.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
The names, the name speaks for itself. The production value that they put into those shows as well is really good, and I felt really at home on that show.
Yeah,
as well. So that's the way they make you feel. I know I said before we went on, I said my very first memory of you is actually not so much of you, but is of your wife, partner, girlfriend,
partner, yeah. Yeah,
screaming at ringside for you to win the fight, and then and then I'm so yeah, he's doing well, he's got this, see what you're doing. I was going, and she was like, oh, he's got to get through this, we've got to go to Egypt tomorrow morning, so if we don't get through it, that's it. So I'm just praying to God now you're not going to an hospital because that flight cancellation is going to cost you. Yeah. Could have cost you the relationship, I don't know.
She would have left me at home. She would have gone with the kids.
Yeah, well, I'll fly out when you're ready. It's fine, James. Don't
worry. Yeah, that's it.
But I remember as well, you always got a good little fan base with you as well. You always got a good number of people in your corner as well, shouting and cheering you on, and that was prevalent as well. And well, as we are now, we are what 7-1, 8-1,
8-1 now, yeah,
8-1.
8-1,
so that was after the 8-1. Yeah, 7-1 going into last weekend. So that's fine. And obviously we've had a bit of quite a steady rise. We had a little knockback, and that was for the southern area.
Yeah,
super middleweight. Didn't quite do the business on that night. Talk me through that one. How that went for you?
I just think I got a bit greedy early on, and I just gassed out. And then I got caught with a body shot when I was tired. It took it out of me a bit, and then it took me a few rounds to get my second wind and try and fight back. But I think mentally, I've never been in that situation before, but mentally it was difficult. Thinking I was hurt and I still had another 5-6 rounds to go. It felt like forever. It's the longest 36 minutes of my life.
Because this was fight number 6 then in that case for you?
Yeah. Yeah,
so we done 4s, 6, and then we went straight into a 10. But we had a 10 before that, didn't we?
Yeah. We fought Grant Dennis in a 10, but he's a completely different fight. It's just controlling the pace. You can do the rounds a lot easier, but with that S.A. Smith, he was controlling the pace, and it was really hard work.
I'll edit that bit out. I'll leave it in now.
Yeah, no, it's just a big learning fight. To be honest, I felt like I've learned a lot from that. And it's going to help me pushing forward into the 10 rounders again.
And what did management think? What did your corner tell you after that one?
They said I still done well. It showed that I had a lot of heart. It showed a different side of me to obviously being in that position of being put down, being really badly hurt, and still coming strong in the later rounds. I just showed a lot of character, I think. Whereas other people weren't. Once they get hurt, they'll stay down because honestly, in my head, I was thinking I really don't want to be doing this right now. Once I was hurt, I wanted just to get my breath back, and I'd have been all right. But it was taken out of my control.
And like you say, I mean, it shows character to come back as well, to step back and go back into it. I know we've gone. So we did the tournament. It was the tournament that you had. No, this time. So it was two bouts. So you won the first. 3.
Yeah, won the first 3-round fight,
Yeah.
and then I went and boxed again later on in the night in another 3-rounder.
Yeah. Because I know the board don't do many tournaments very often, so it's good to see, to be honest with you, because we don't have any tournaments on fights now anymore. So I mean, for the fans, I think that's great because they get to see get to see you fight twice. Probably not so much for you, because that's technically 6 rounds of boxing with a delay in the back. Were you on first or second for the semis?
I was the second lot of fighters on.
So probably, I don't know, did you feel that was an advantage, being a little bit closer to the actual second fight, that you didn't cool down quite as much as the other guy?
Yeah, because I think I only had about an hour after I come back to see the doctor. I think we had about 40 minutes. There was a 12-round fight on there, and that was stopped in the second or third round, so that took half hour off it.
Yeah. So that speeds you up a little bit. So you were,
So
you didn't cool down too much. You stayed on it, and Corner was with you as well. And that was John Marvin, wasn't it?
John Marvin was the second one.
One.
Yeah, that was a really good fight.
And unanimous decision on the win for that one. I understand from reading reports as well. So good. And so this is where we are right now. I would still say you're knocking on the door of challenging for for that championship again, or something similar, I would imagine. And probably your Corner probably thinking exactly the same, because as you say, I think to come back from any loss is hard enough as it is. To come through and win a tournament like that then as well, you've got 2 fights on the bounce. I think it shows extreme amount of determination and grit and determination from you. How do you feel? What's next for you then?
Yeah, maybe get a fight in a 10-rounder against a good fighter, and then be ready for the titles again in the middle of the year next year. To be honest, I'll just wherever they give me, I just want to take. But it'd be nice to start getting titles again.
So 2025 is going to be the year of Ozzy's titles, yes?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Well, it will be.
It will be, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we've got a plan. I think you've alluded to it there in what you want to do in 2025.
Yeah.
Beyond 2025, I mean, obviously, where do you see yourself going in a couple of years' time? Do you see yourself, challenging for the British, Commonwealths, Silvers,
I'd love to,
Europeans, etc.?
I think we just take it fight by fight and what we get given. But that'd be a dream to fight for the British, and that's probably like my main goal, is to fight for that. It's where I'm a bit older as well, 32 now, so I haven't got much longer left. So I just want to.
I'm 44. So you've got plenty of time.
In boxing years, I know I haven't been boxing that long, but you do feel it on your body the more older you get. So just want to pick the fights well, really.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you and your coach and Newland and all the team there will be working at trying to deliver something that, and you're comfortable and happy with. So, I mean, if there is one belt, you may have already answered this question, but if there was one belt that you could have around your waist, what would it be?
Yeah, it would be the British.
Fair enough.
Well, obviously a world title, but realistically, I would love the British title.
Yeah, I thought you'd answered that already, because what you alluded to already in the previous question. So I kind of guessed, and that's perfectly fine, because I think the Longstone, that belt is ultimately the best belt out there. It's historical. It stood the test of time. I know it's been a little unfashionable at some points, during the years, but it's always remained. I live near Merthyr, so I see it on the statues of Winston and Johnny Owen as well, Matchstick Man. That they were with their belts, and it's always the British belt, and it's the beautiful belt. And they've got it in the museum there as well in Merthyr. So if you want to go and see one for free, then just go to the Merthyr Museum. There you go. Yeah. You'll see one there, because it is a beautiful belt, and I think history lineage, particularly with British boxing, it is the one, I think.
Yeah.
But if it was a world, which world would you like to see? Because I know there's, we can talk about unsanctioned bodies, body sanctioned, sanctioned, but I can't remember words in the wrong way around. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Is there a particular one? WBC, I think. The green, green and gold.
The green, that's the one.
It's become, I think, more desirable. I always think of the IBF, but that's just
the IBF and WBC,
and the eagle on the front. But that's probably because we've had a few of those come through Wales as well with that, so that's fair enough as well. And then Well, obviously you've alluded to it at one stage that one day the boxing will stop and you'll have to hang the gloves up. I don't want that to happen quite yet, but what's James going to do when boxing has stopped for him?
So I like to stay involved in boxing. I do some coaching at Newlands Gym now, and I'm really enjoying it, especially with my boy. He's loving it. Or both my boys are loving it, and I'd like to just be a coach down there, and maybe get into maybe a pro coach. I don't know. Not too sure yet.
See what happens and see where it takes you. And you said your boys are up in for it as well. So we've got 2 future Osbournes to call to the ring as well. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, now they're loving it at the minute. Yeah, so.
And I bet Dad's taking a very keen interest in their careers as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think I'm on them too much.
But you know the ropes, and you can at least show them. But they're still going to have to learn their own ropes as well. So I mean, that's right. Understandable in that capacity as well. So I think that's a really good thing to go back. And a lot of boxers want to give back to the career because, as I've said before, the boxing shows, they're not really. I mean, for punters, for the fans, there's something special to turn up to and watch people fight. Normally you go along and you support yourselves, or you've got your fan base. There's obviously fans of boxing, but I think for us involved in the sport, we kind of go because we actually like to see our friends. And even though you've been in the ring with them, and you've had a few tussles with a few people over the years, you still become friends with them afterwards. And sort of there's obviously some rivalry still, but there's also a lot of camaraderie in boxing, and that's why we have our shows, and that's why. And now you'd be able to go and say, well, actually, here's my son, here's my, I've seen that with other generational fighters as well. So he's, you see them going through it, and it's good to meet up and catch up and find out what's going on with each other. And I know a lot of the old boys like to come to these shows as well because they like to see boxing and like to watch and support you, and see what's coming through the scene. So good.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, James, there's one little thing we do at the end of every show, which is a little quick-fire question round, which it's more either or. It's not really that questions, really. And I'll just ask you what they are, and then you can give me your response and tell me which ones you prefer. All right?
Yeah.
So, first thing, southpaw or orthodox?
What, fighting?
Mm-hmm. What's your favourite style?
My favourite style is southpaw.
Southpaw? Complicated. I like it. Hard to read, hard to control, but that's good. Body shots or headshots?
Body shots hurt more, but I do love a good headshot.
Train alone or with a partner?
I like training with a partner.
Are you an early bird or are you a night owl?
Early bird.
Heavy bag or speed bag?
Heavy bag.
Underdog or was the favourite? In the gym or out on the hills?
In the gym.
Short and powerful punches or the long technical?
Short and powerful.
Good. Fight dirty or clean?
Bit of both.
Bit of both?
Bit of both, yeah.
Bit of both. Sometimes when you get in there, it's got to get a bit dirty sometimes. I get it. Not many people say that, though, so you're a brave man to say that. Crowd loud or the quiet atmosphere? I know you've done a bit of both, so...
Yeah, the crowd loud, they push you on.
Push you through it. The quick knockout or a strategic win?
Yeah, quick knockout. Don't get paid for overtime.
Fair point. Don't also want to leave it to the judges sometimes, so I get that. I get it. Hypothetical fight, AJ or Fury?
Fury, no. I used to be AJ, but Fury.
Well, he's out next month. He's out this month, the end of the month. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a very interesting fight.
Yeah.
Will it be a repeat or revenge? Who knows? That's the thing. We don't know. But I'm sure the world will watch, and we'll all be watching it as well. So, I don't even have a show on that night, so I can sit at home and enjoy the boxing, which is a rare occasion. Yeah. So you'll be able to sit at home now because you won't have a fight. So until the new year. So you're back out in the new year.
Yeah. Yeah, probably about end of March, I think. That sort of time.
It's when have a word with the coach, see what's going on. Obviously, you're going to be looking at something like a 10-rounder, 8-10-rounder, I guess, from what you're saying. And I wish you every success with that one, and look forward to seeing where it goes in the future, James. Because obviously, Ozzy, we'll look forward to seeing you, and I'm still watching your career, and with expectations that you're going to go far, because I think you can.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No worries at all, mate. No worries at all. Anyway, thanks very much for coming on the Big Hype podcast. And if you want to follow James, how do people follow you? How do they get involved with you?
Follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just hit me up. Ozzy James Osborne.
Good, and we'll try and put the links in the bio as well below. So thanks very much, James, for coming on the Big Hype podcast, brought to you by Hype Energy Drinks, and we'll catch you again real soon.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for listening to the Big Hype podcast. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and really, I just want to ask you personally, if you could just send this on to a friend. Send it in their text, to their socials, to WhatsApp, whatever. However you get it to them, just get it to them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it, and I certainly will appreciate it. So thanks again for listening to the Big Hype podcast, and thank you again for sending and sharing.